Ikigai, the man who repaired time. There is a question that quietly follows every human being. It doesn't ask where we live, how much we earn, or what we own. Instead, it asks something much simpler. Why do you wake up each morning? In Japan, there is a beautiful word for the answer. Ikigai. It means a reason for being. But rather than defining it with diagrams or theories, let me tell you a story. On the eastern coast of Japan, where the mountains gently embraced the sea, stood a small village untouched by hurry. The mornings arrived slowly. Fishing boats drifted onto calm waters. Children walked narrow stone paths on their way to school. The wind carried the scent of salt and pine through quiet wooden streets. At the corner of one such street stood a tiny shop. Its wooden walls had faded with time. Its roof had weathered countless storms. Most people walked past without giving it a second glance. Yet, inside that little shop, time itself was waiting. The shop belonged to an old man named Kenji. Every morning before sunrise, he followed the same simple ritual. He slid open the wooden shutters. He swept the entrance. He boiled water for green tea. Only then did he sit at his workbench. Surrounding him were hundreds of clocks, large clocks, small clocks, wall clocks, pocket watches. Some ticked gently. Others had long since fallen silent. Each one carried someone's memories. Each one carried someone's life. Kenji never hurried. He believed clocks deserved patience. After all, time had always been patient with us. When Kenji was a young boy, he often sat beside his father, who had owned the very same shop. His father was also a clockmaker. One afternoon, young Kenji asked, "Father, why do people repair old clocks when they can simply buy new ones?" His father smiled. He picked up an old broken clock and placed it carefully into Kenji's hands. Then he said, "Because time deserves respect, and every clock has lived beside someone." Those words stayed with Kenji long after his father was gone. Years passed. The village slowly changed. Electric lights replaced lanterns. Modern stores appeared. People stopped listening for ticking clocks. Instead, they looked down at glowing screens, digital watches, smartphones, instant everything. Fewer and fewer people entered Kenji's little shop. Some days no one came at all. The silence grew heavier. Even so, every morning Kenji still opened the shutters, prepared his tea, and waited. Not because business demanded it, but because something inside him did. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever wondered whether what you do still matters, even when no one seems to notice? Many of us spend our lives searching for something extraordinary. But perhaps purpose rarely arrives with applause. Sometimes it waits quietly inside the smallest routines. One rainy evening, just as Kenji prepared to close the shop, the wooden door slowly slid open. A woman stepped inside. In her hands, she carried a small cloth bundle. Inside lay an old alarm clock. Its glass was cracked. Its hands had stopped forever. She softly said, "This belonged to my mother. It stopped on the morning she passed away. I don't need it to be perfect. I simply don't want it to remain broken." Kenji nodded. Without saying another word, he began his work. He cleaned every fragile spring, placed a single drop of oil where years of silence had gathered. The rain continued outside, until tick, tick, tick. The little clock came alive once more. The woman whispered, "You didn't only repair the clock, you gave me back a memory." That evening, Kenji walked home beneath glowing paper lanterns. For the first time in many years, he understood why he had never closed his shop. It was never about clocks. It was about offering comfort, about preserving memories, about serving others with the gift he had spent a lifetime learning. At that moment, Kenji discovered his Ikigai. Many people think Ikigai is a destination. It isn't. It often lives inside ordinary mornings, inside the work you would gladly do even if no one applauded, inside the kindness only you can offer, inside the skills you've quietly cultivated over the years. The next morning, before sunrise, Kenji once again opened the wooden shutters. Nothing about the village had changed, but Kenji had changed. Now he knew exactly why he had awakened, not because he had to, but because he had something meaningful to give. So let me leave you with one question. If money disappeared, if titles disappeared, if nobody were watching, what would you still choose to do? Life has a quiet way of revealing our purpose, one ordinary morning at a time. Thank you for listening. Until next time, may you discover your own Ikigai.